Hello YouTube, this Keith Kevin Ken. How you doing? How you doing? I really hope you're doing well. It's time again to take a look at my collection. This time we're looking at a sub collection. Monday through Friday we do the knife of the day. But today on a weekend we're taking a look at some of the collections within a collection. And today it's one of my favorites. I think next to the Sage, next to the Copa collection, and we'll talk about that in a later weekend. Then the Sage collection, and I'll tell you, this is one of the collections that people don't talk a lot about, and they should. This is the Spyderco Chaparrals. There are 6 different knives, and they all have the same characteristics, but a little different. These are all gentleman folders. You'll find them under the gentleman folder section of the Spyderco catalog. So let's talk about them. Let me get all situated first. The very first one, I'll talk about the characteristics of all of them, and then we'll talk about what makes them different. When we talk about the Sage series, of course, that is Spyderco's celebration of the wisdom of some knife makers who have come up with the way that we lock knives, modern knives, like the back lock, the compression lock, etc. The Chaparral takes a look at gentleman folders. All of them have the exact same dimensions, the exact same lock, the back lock. The difference is the materials of the handle, the scales. So let's talk about it. I do like it. If you looked at it, you know that this is based on a classic Spyderco form, that leaf-shaped blade. All of the blades are CTS Xhp steel, all of them. They're all full flat ground, full flat ground. They all have, like I said, the leaf shape with that forward choil and that full forward choil. So while they are thin, look how thin the knives are. So that's why we say it's a perfect gentleman's folder. Fits into your pocket real nice and thin. But you can really choke up on it. Good steel, CTS Xhp, excellent steel. Feels great in the hand. Jimping under the forward choil. The first one they came out with is carbon fiber on top of G10. That's the big difference. Of course, Spyderco, while they have some of their own locks that they've created, they have really developed over time this back lock. It's snappy. I've heard some people say they don't like it because of the closing of it. But of course, for a nice little gentleman's folder, it just feels so well done. All of the knives have a wire clip on the back, deep carry wire clip. They're all between 2 ounces. That's the lightest. And again, it all depends on the scales. It goes from 2 ounces to 2.7 ounces. So all of them are light and nice. 2.8 inch blade, which means they're under the 3 inches that give some people trouble in their area. Because of the choil, that's about 2.4, just under 2.4 inches for that full flat ground edge. The entire size is just 6.4 inches in total. Oh man, deep carry. It's just a really nice knife. This is the Chaparral 1. Now I have to tell you, They are expensive. And so we'll talk about how Spyderco has reacted to that, because they know they have great knives, and I'm sure they're looking at the sales. All of these, I think, are, well, I'll tell you, all of them are in the 2018 catalog. So they have not been discontinued. They're still available. They are really nice knives. Once you pick them up and you feel them, you put them in your pocket, you're happy to have them. But again, for a knife this size, it's the quality of them, and especially when they start getting into the titanium and the different kind of molds, the price does go up. Number two, of course, it has the same 2.8 inches, the full flat ground, the CTS Xhp, but the scales are full titanium. And you can see the diamond pattern on them, and the diamond patterns lift off of it. So we're going to show you some 3-dimensionals coming up. This is about 2 dimensions. So a little tricky in the manufacturing of it, but man, it feels nice. And even with the full tie, only 2.5 ounces on this one. So it really feels great. I'm sorry, 2.7 ounces. This is one of the heavier ones. 2.7 ounces. But of course, it feels like nothing in your hands. Everything else is the same. And boy, what a wonderful knife. I'm going to say a wonderful knife to each one of them, because I think even if you just pick one of them, they are really nice. Now, I'll tell you, when they went all titanium and instead of the diamond pattern, they went 3D. You can feel everything on here on the scales. It's just so well done. It's so well done. Again, in that great package that just melts. I carry, people go, how you carry 3 knives? Well, I carry a keychain knife. I have 500 and something videos that you can go check out on this channel. But I have a keychain knife, and so it's one of the smaller knives. And I change it every day because I just have a silver loop with 3 keys on it. So really it's 2 knives, and this is a perfect second knife, or a first knife if you're like me and you work in an office. Just a real well-built knife. Again though, look at the pattern. It's 3D. It comes up off of the surface and just well done. Now, I feel dumb telling you guys. Number 4, when I got this one is probably the most expensive out there. And I kept expecting them to discontinue this knife because I could just imagine that a lot of people weren't buying them. It took me, yeah, this is the embarrassing part. It took me about 4 months to realize this is exactly the same knife, except this one is blue anodized. It's anodized blue, and it's selectively anodized blue. So it really gives out a different pattern, even though it's the exact same pattern. Isn't that beautiful? These are the same knives, except for the anodization is just really well done on that pattern. So that's the 4th one. Now, Spyderco had this wonderful collection. They knew they were very expensive. They knew they were well done. And so they were trying to address the cost of them. This one, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. I'll spell it, though. This one is called the Noble Raffir, R-A-F-F-I-R. And the process for these scales, it's a translucent epoxy covering, so it feels soft. And underneath it are multi-layers of metal mash. It just really looks unique. It feels nice in the hand. It's different, and it's a little less expensive than the titanium, but still very interesting. This was released about 2 years ago by Spyderco. Again, another addition to Chaparral, but a little less expensive and a little bit more than that conservative row of knives. And then the last one, they just released a lightweight Chaparral last year. I'm recording this in 2018, the beginning of March 2018. They just released this last year, and I was happy to see it. I was looking forward to it. I personally, and I'm older, I'm well established at my work, I love the heavy duty Chaparrals. I'd love to see a expensive, an expensive carbon fiber, and not just on G10. But when they released this, and I picked it up, man, I love that they made this move. The scale is FRN scale. It's fiberglass reinforced nylon. Spyderco does it so well on their knives. It's lightweight. They have that bi-directional gripping. It's a lot less expensive than titanium or carbon fiber or even the new the new stuff on the fifth one. And it's very lightweight. Spyderco uses it on a lot of their different knives. And this is super lightweight. This is the 2-ounce knife. And I'll tell you, it is like it doesn't exist. Very well done. It has everything else that we've come to expect from the Chaparral series. Same steel, same strong backlock, same 2.8-inch full flat ground blade, the forward choil. If you want to get your foot in on the Chaparral, this is a nice one to do. And then you can see if you want to go up with some of these others. I wouldn't be surprised if Spyderco starts discontinuing some of the titanium ones. I don't know how well they're selling. I would just say probably those would be the first. But I'm happy. This is one of the very few sets. Remember the Sage 4 Sage 4 is discontinued already. So this is the only one that has a complete set still available. So you might want to check them out. It's one of my favorite series, of course. I'm in love with the smaller knives, so it's a personal preference. I'm in love with gentleman folders. I am, because I carry them a lot. But this is a wonderful series to look into. It's the Spyderco Chaparral series. Hope you enjoy this. If you do, don't forget to thumb it up. I really appreciate it. Subscribe. And turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the videos. Tomorrow we'll return to going through my collection with another Chris Reeve knife. We're making our way through Chris Reeve, Microtech, Automatics, Browse Blade collection. Then we're going to move on to all the others, the customs, the case knives, the hinderers, the striders, etc. Hey, you guys. Thank you very much for all of your time. I know how precious it is to you. Share the videos. Let people know that we're out here. And of course, as soon as Spyderco releases new knives, I'll have them and I'll show them to you. If you missed the last 4 videos, we just talked about the most recent Spyderco knives. You guys have a perfect day. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.